Yo, it's X to the motherfucking Z. Make sure you tune in and watch me on the Bootleg podcast. Let's go.
All right, y'all, before we get into the episode, we got to do this. We just dropped these t-shirts to celebrate 500 episodes of the Bootleg podcast. Yes, this is out. Little Daytona 500 vintage flip. All 500 episodes are on the back. Yes, you could do the gray, or you could just go black. The black is fire, too. So look, if you go right now, man, bootlegcab.com, and you cop yourself a 500 episode t-shirt, I'm gonna throw in a pair of socks. We got the Bootleg Cab Odd Socks. You already know, the Bootleg Cab podcast sponsored by Odd Socks, so it's only right we throw in a pair of Odd Socks for every t-shirt sold. So, bootlegcab.com. Thank you everybody for supporting 500 episodes. Let's get into the next one right now. Come on. Yo, Bootleg Kev podcast, Bootleg Kev show. We got a legend in the building, man. Kingmaker's coming when, Xzibit?
February.
In February. Oh, I was about to say, I'm kind of mad because I put my albums of the year list out.
Yeah.
Now I know it qualifies for next year.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Great body of work, man. X to the Z Xzibit is here.
Yes.
Welcome, sir.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now, this is crazy. Like, you just played me your album, and I just was like, wait a minute, like, bro, you was like really like locked the fuck in.
Yeah.
This album is crazy.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And it's not, I'm not just telling you, like, this shit is, it's up there with you got 3 classics.
Yeah.
It's up there with all 3 of your first 3 albums.
Thank you, man. You know, when I sit back and we talk about this with my circle of friends, we talk about the record, and I think the best way I can explain it is that I found my voice, right? Not the way my voice sounds or the inflection or the pitch of it. I'm talking about, like, I know what I'm supposed to say. I know how I'm supposed to be talking. I know what my message is, right?
It's crazy because you've had like was your last album Napalm?
Yes. Yeah.
And that was in 2011?
2012.
2012?
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think, like, in the last 12 years, right? You've been known for a lot of things in terms of, like, your entrepreneurial shit, right? You've been leveling up in the weed game. And by the way, put out some amazing stuff with the Serial Killers.
Yes.
Shout out to Be Real and Demrick.
Yes.
The last album you guys dropped was fucking crazy.
Yeah, the SOS album.
Yeah, the Son of Sam shit. That shit was fucking crazy. But, you know, like, what was there, like you said, you found your voice? Like, what was the motivation to get you? Because, you know, I know what it's like to own a bunch of businesses and have your eye on so many different balls at the same time. But it just, like I said, it just felt like you were just really, like, re-engaged on this album, like, in a way that, like, I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah. You know, I think how we all deal with different parts of our life with stress and finding other things to do and, you know, testing the boundaries. And I do that. I like to take risks. I like to take chances, right? You know, film, television, even going into different aspects of business. It's a risk, you know, because time is the most valuable thing, so you got to spend it wisely.
Right.
And so as I'm doing these things and I'm, you know, going out and venturing out, you know, when you have that thing that you want to feel, you know, full, you don't want a void. You know what I'm saying? And I was feeling a void. And so when I started going back and, you know, working in the studio again, that's what, you know, actually it started when I started with, I did a James Savage, Jail Felony. We did a project called James Savage. And that really got me going first. And you know what I'm saying? And once I produced that for him, then I started like making records for myself again. And then I was like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I was finding what made me feel solid and feel that void. And so I only did records like that. Now we have all kinds of, you know, we did like 50 some records for this album.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And there's
and
like,
you sequenced them like fucking.
Yeah, but there's 18 that made it. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel really good and strong about everything on this record because I haven't had that before. You know what I'm saying? Like even I can go back to Restless and still hear things that I would have did differently.
Which song did you not like on Restless? I'm just curious which one you would have left off. Was there a song that you like listened back that didn't age the greatest?
No, that's like asking which one
I'm
of
just
your
curious.
kids you want to kill.
Because I always wonder like
which one of your kids you would
back in the day, right? Back in the day when you were on a major label, sometimes a label would win an argument on a song. Right. You know what I mean? Like maybe you were like, I really didn't fuck with that song, but the label wanted it on there.
Right. No, I feel like that about different records, but not on Restless.
Yeah. No, Restless is fucking.
Yeah, I like that one. I like it.
And you had Chaos One on that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you something I always wondered, right? Because sometimes, like, it frustrates me because I'm, like, a fan of your shit for real.
Thank you, man.
Like, At the Speed of Life, like, 40 Days, 40 Nights, like, chamber music, 3 Card Molly, like, oh, my God, like, just fucking amazing.
Thank you, man.
Los Angeles Times, of course. You become a star, which, you know, is I feel like it's very hard to be a certain level of famous, and you've achieved that level of fame through a show like Pimp My Ride, through doing movies, through doing TV, through doing films. But while doing all of that stuff, there is like an entire generation of people that strictly only associate you with those television shows, and or while associating you as a rapper, discount your career as a rapper because they just say, oh, it's the Pimp My Ride guy.
Right.
Was there ever like the gift in the, because I'm never going to call being on Pimp My Ride a curse because that changed your life, right?
Yeah, correct.
But was the fame and the success of the other stuff in front of the camera, did it take a hit like on the like did it affect the music stuff in a negative way at all?
Well, I was the first.
You were the first,
right?
Because we didn't have a TI reality show. Correct. We had nobody. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start. Let's start there. I was the first, so we didn't know at the time what 20 some years later was going to look like. So being the first, there was a lot of risk versus reward. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was too close to it in the beginning, but as now I look back and I can understand like this made me a global brand. This made me somewhere where I can be, people who don't even know I do music.
They know
They know me, right? And that's something to start with, right? And so when then you look at, okay, so now everybody that's in music is doing something other than music in order to just
everybody's got their side quest
to get it to get the use the music as a backdrop, and then be able to like put themselves out there. So I think that the people that try to dismiss the music because of the show, I don't know. Everybody is entitled to their opinion.
But was that something that you would like notice was happening at the time? Like once the show really popped off, like.
No, it definitely bothered me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was too close to it. Like I said, I wanted people to know me for one thing, but then they recognize me and know me for this other thing.
Yeah, and then you're doing movies.
You know what I'm saying?
I had you and Busta Rhymes had a horrible movie I had on VHS. Yeah. I bought that movie from Hollywood Video. It was terrible, but I bought it and I watched that motherfucker and it was on my shelf.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'll let them know. I'll tell Buzz.
It's crazy. So my best friend, I have like one of my real first like hip hop, two hip hop stories in life. Really, my best friend, his name is Ramses. His brother is Rocka. From Dilated. So Ramses came to L.A. As Rocka's dad has a lot of kids.
That's Buddy. Buddy's my best friend.
Yes, of course. Buddy, who was in the, was he in the paparazzi video?
Yeah, he was in the paparazzi video. And now he's a lawyer.
Yes, he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
Right. So Ramses comes to L.A. to meet his brothers, and this is before the platform came out. So this was, I don't even know what year this was. He comes out to L.A. I think at the time he's probably 17, I'm 13, something like that. Hangs out with the alcoholics, you're around, comes back, he's like, yo, my brother's in this rap group, and I was hanging out with Xzibit, and whatever the case is, then you ended up like not long after that having a concert. It was like a college show at Arizona State University.
Yeah.
And me and Ramses, with the hope of finding you backstage so you would remember him, we legit, as like children, snuck into the backstage of this concert and was just moving around like crazy. Fast forward, you're on what was the tour with Papa Roach? Anger Management Tour. Yeah. And again, we're on a mission.
Yeah.
Saafir, rest his soul,
rest in peace,
is on that tour. Sees Ramses, recognizes him, and brings us backstage.
Yeah, see?
And I'm a little kid backstage at the Anger Management Tour, and you're the first. Well, no, you're not I don't know if you're the first. Yeah, you're probably the first rapper I ever really kind of like. I was a little dirty-ass white kid. I was probably 13, 12, 13.
Good, man. It's
and
dope.
like you were super cool backstage, and I remember just being like, what the fuck? Like, I think it was what was that, Eminem?
Yeah, Papa Roach, Limp Bizkit. Yeah, Limp Bizkit.
It was just, whatever the case was. Yeah. But yeah, man, by the way, man, we got to acknowledge Saafir passing away, man. Yeah. Obviously, I know he was a big part of your story.
Absolutely, yeah. That was tough to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad me and Ras, we were able to go up and see him before he passed, and
that's important.
That was very dope that we were able to all be together, and shout out to the whole family, all the kids. His brother Sonny, from the Who Riders, he was there. You know what I'm saying? Like he did a lot of the heavy lifting. So shout out to him, and I'm glad we got to see my brother.
That's good. One of the all-time never got an album but needed an album was the Golden State Warriors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it was supposed to happen.
And then like there was like an NBA thing where they stepped in like you can't call yourself that. Then it was like Golden State Project. Right?
We called ourselves the Golden State Project. We actually got a cease and desist letter from the Golden State basketball organization. Yeah, they was like, yo, if you do that, we're gonna fucking murder you. I was like, okay, we won't. Well, they didn't say that, but basically it was like, don't fuck with our shit.
Was there like how did you guys ever like actually with intent work on that album?
We have 4 songs completed, and then
like that we haven't heard.
As you haven't heard.
Wow.
Yeah.
One day, man.
One day.
They might.
I got them sitting on DATs. I know exactly where they are.
You got them.
Yeah,
That's
I got them. Yeah, I'm organized like that.
Yeah, 3 Card Molly is one of the best posse cuts of all time.
I got to organize some other stuff. I got some now that you made me think about it. I have like these big bins of like I kept all my cassettes. I kept all my CDs, and I started going through these CDs. I got like Kanye West beat CDs. Wow. I got like, you know what I'm saying, like instrumental CDs. I got. Man,
it'd be crazy if you like listen, and you're like, damn, I passed on this beat.
Yeah,
that ended up being like.
I want to figure out. I got to put that shit into some hard drives, or I got to get a system where I can like organize it. But I want to like maintain that library of shit I have because I've been like collecting. Remember, you used to give out CDs,
of
like
course.
You know what I'm saying, like the singles and the little promo CDs, and you got instrumentals and shit on there.
I mean, that's how everything was. The beat CDs, like yo, I got beats. Here you go. With no email.
Yeah, I got beat CDs from like man, you name it, I got them.
Can you talk to me about like how you're feeling with the because the West Coast has a very interesting opportunity right now to like take hip hop. Be back on the forefront, right? Yeah. I feel like me and Snoop talked about it a little bit. The ball gets passed around, and the South has had the ball for a long time. Right. Atlanta's had the ball for a long time, but it does feel like with this Kendrick situation that there has been an opportunity to take the ball. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about just like the West having that opportunity right now?
I feel the shift. I feel it. I think timing is everything. I think, to have these records weren't done like in 3 days or or within a 6-week period.
Right.
Like we all have been working on our own pace and whatever, and it just so happens
that everything lined up.
Yeah. And I feel like when things organically happen like that, it tends to be a movement. It shifts the tide, you know? So I think there's a lot to be said in that. And I think, Kendrick Lamar being the tip of the spear, you know what I'm saying? And really igniting a lot of that energy to you be uniform, so people are looking out for each other and hearing each other. And okay, cool. So, now we alley-oop, and now we, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now we on the court. We, you know what I'm saying? It's feeling good. It's good out there.
It's been such a crazy year for West Coast hip hop. We were talking about Vince Staples, Tyler.
Yeah, Cube. You know,
Cube's
what I'm saying?
album is hard. The Snoop album is dope.
Yes, Missionary.
Dog Pound dropped.
Yes, yeah. Be Real and Psycho Last just dropped something.
It's just been hella shit, man.
Absolutely. Your Kingmaker's coming. I'm glad I got to get some music out. You know, and then we coming in February with the whole project.
How did you end up signing with Conor McGregor's new label? Because when I saw he announced the label, and then now you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say Bone Thugs is on the label as well.
I'm not sure if that is done, but I
mean that was at least
that's the intent. Yeah.
Okay, that was at least in the air.
Yeah. I don't know.
Were you the first person to sign?
No, I believe Bone was.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I believe they are.
Okay.
You know, but I don't want to speak.
You don't want to speak on the business.
On the business, yeah. But I know we were brought up second, but my project was more close to being completed because I had already been working on it. Right. So that's why we were able to get in, make the announcement, and boom, pull the trigger.
Yeah, like I already got music ready.
All right, I'm ready to go.
But take me through the process, because a lot of people might see Conor McGregor's got a record label and be like, well, this is a tax write-off for this guy, or he's not going to take it serious.
No, I said the same thing. I was, but then, because we were getting close to being done with the record, and I wanted to, I started looking at ways to distribute it.
Like, how are we going to put this out?
Now that I got the record I want, how am I going to put it out? So we started looking at everything, and shout out to LaRussell. I went to go see him. I like to.
Even's a dope site.
Yeah, exactly.
LaRussell's a fucking pioneer.
I love what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm very inspired by that young man, and he got a movement going too, and he's gonna do huge things. So I went to go see. I'm familiar with all the DSPs and the sites and all that other stuff. So I wanted something different because I'm at this point of where I am. Musically, I have very small windows of opportunity for me to be totally transparent, for me to make the mark that I need to mark and shift the tide. Right?
And you got to put some respect on the body of work you're sitting on.
Correct.
You don't want to just...
Don't throw it out.
Correct.
Be patient. And so I was patient. And so then the opportunity came from, shout out to Bobby D, shout out to, Big Tato, who've been with me for years now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a call and said that Conor McGregor was starting a record label and they wanted to hear some music. We sent them the music. They was like, fucking, we want to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then I was like, well, what the fuck is Conor McGregor gonna do?
What's he know about music?
What is he gonna do? But then they explain it. It's like, okay, so here's the deal. So everything he does involves music. You know what I'm saying? He has to pick this for this fight. He has to do this. He trains to it. He is very locked in on the music side, right? And so I was like, listening to music and marketing and promoting and selling music is to 3 to 17,000 different things, right? And so he's like, okay, well, let's kind of have a conversation. We went out to Marbella, Spain. And first we went to Ireland, and I met the team of people that he wants to form Greenback Records with, right? And so there's some business side of people that do a multitude of things in the McGregor world, but then there's people he brought in specifically to do the record side of things. And these people have worked in the buildings. They've been they're music people with the business people. So I wanted to go check that out. I was like, okay, cool. That makes me feel a lot better. You know what I'm saying? And so from there we went to actually meet Conor, and then sat down. Got to see the bare knuckle boxing shit.
This was in Ireland?
No, that was in Spain.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically how it happened. And then when we come home, it was just like, okay, it's time to go. We're gonna push go. And we push the button, and that shit's working. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking working.
So, because we've seen athletes try to do the label thing.
No, but he's not in it like that.
No, I know, but I'm saying, but we've seen it, right? Like we've
Yeah.
seen it. It's very. I don't know if it's ever worked, to be honest.
No, it's not because he's.
But usually it's like, to be fair, it's usually like football players and basketball players that also kind of want to rap.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not trying to rap whatsoever.
So like you guys have that initial convo, and like, was there anything he said to you that made you kind of be like, yeah, fuck it, let's give this a try?
He's approaching it differently, and he's not jaded by any of the record politics that we all know about.
Right.
He's literally looking at this like fight promotion. I love that. You know what I'm saying?
A different way to approach the business.
Way to do it.
Yeah.
We talking about approaching it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like really like build it in that fashion. And that's exciting to me. You know what I'm saying? Like again, the risk versus reward. I've never been afraid to step out on faith. You know what I'm saying? So
and like, dude, the videos have been insane.
Yes, it's fucking working.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I haven't.
You said that boat. There's a boat in the video you have, and that's Connor's Lamborghini boat.
Yeah.
That shit look crazy.
Yeah, it's dope. I'm glad. Hey, man, shout out to the Big Mac. You know, let me use his boat.
What like
that was dope.
Would you say there's any misconceptions about that guy? Because I would say I'm like a surface level fight fan, but not like super in it. You know?
Yeah. I see. You know, now that we've been, you know, collaborating, you know, people like you wanted to see him fight. You know, the stuff in the press about the whatever suit or whatever he's got going on. You know, look, dude, I got to look at it like this. If you can't stay down with the people in their dark times, you don't deserve to stand up with them in the light, you know?
Facts.
So, you know, like...
And he denies the whole thing. You know?
Understood. Yeah. But, I mean, there's no criminal charges. You know, it was a civil suit, so I'm not going to get in the middle of
right. I don't want to get into the you know, the weeds with that. But
Right. But I do feel like, okay, cool, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just started collaborating. And from what I've seen, you know what I'm saying, the dude is doing the best he can.
Great businessman too. Like his whiskey's fucking huge.
Yeah. But I think they actually, you know, went as far as, you know, trying to distance themselves from Conor McGregor.
Right.
And, you know, like, dude, you know.
Oh, the whiskey company did.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Which is crazy because like he's the brand.
Like you know,
there's no. Without him, I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But again, I stay down. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't desert my people in their time of need. So, you know, shout out to the McGregor family. Shout out to his wife, his kids. For sure. You know, that's who's important. You know what I'm saying? So I see him actively, you know, doing that. And,
I also feel like there was just a lot of things that didn't line up with that whole situation where you're
look, but that's not, you can't even get into the weeds with that either.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But again, it's like, you know, when you make a character judgment and you decide to align yourself with someone, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to trust your gut. And my gut tells me that we did the right thing.
Right. Take me back. So you come to LA, you were, was there a certain point in time you were in, was it New Mexico or Arizona?
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Yes. Albuquerque to be exact.
Yeah.
Yes.
You end up in Los Angeles. You end up kind of getting in with the Liquid Crew, right? Which would have been like the Licks, King T, the Far Eye, and those guys.
Yes.
How do you initially get signed to Loud? Because at that time, Loud was, they had the, I don't know if they had the Licks yet. I don't know, were you first or was the Licks first?
Alcoholics are first.
So they had like 21 and Over and shit, which was a great album. So was that kind of your pathway to getting on Steve Rifkidd's like radar?
Actually, King T put me on first through a production group called 360 with James Broadway.
Okay.
So that's how I kind of like learned, you know, they were the first people I knew with record deals. So being around King T is how I met the Alcoholics.
And King T's one of the more like, I would say, underrated hip hop figures on the West Coast, maybe ever. I mean, he's up there, you know, like
absolutely, yeah. He's one of the forefathers. Like he was out.
He's behind so much shit that we don't even. For
exactly, sure. Yeah. But King T gave me my first opportunities in hip hop, and so from there, I never made a demo. I never made a tape. I never made any of that kind of stuff. I was only on King T's, King T for Life album. And I did a song called Freestyle Ghetto. And that was kind of like my demo, and it was like out on the record. And so from there, we were doing a show at Glam Slam, which was Prince's nightclub, downtown LA. And we were about to go on, because I used to go and just do ad-libs and support for the Alcoholics on their show. And then sometimes I'd be able to freestyle or stuff at the end, or if they had a spot for me, I would get out. And so we was about to go on, and Steve Rickman was acting. He's like, "Hey, I want to sign you," just like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then we went there, and the next week got it done.
Yeah, and then when you're working on At the Speed of Life, you got records on there like Paparazzi and Los Angeles Times, and just an amazing. It was like an underground West Coast album, really, because it was kind of like, I feel like. Is it safe to say like the What You See Is What You Get video kind of like made got you the most attention at that time? Because it was like a one-on-one video. It was obviously on your second album, but I feel like At the Speed of Life was a very under the radar project.
Yes. Paparazzi was the biggest look from the first album. The video was the orchestra on the beach. Got a lot of run. I still perform that song today in my set. What You See Is What You Get was great on a couple different levels. Like, it showed the creativity that I wanted to have injected into my visuals and what I was capable of.
For people who don't know, it was like the first one take, constant shot video, no edits ever.
It was edits.
Oh, there was.
There was 13 edits in that video.
There were like chops.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of stuff in that video I can point out. But What You See Is What You Get. Definitely got creatively out there and got the conversation going. But it also allowed me to be put on like, an award show, you know what I'm saying? Or it was a real big moment. And yes, I was really excited to go forward from that. But Steve didn't want to shoot another video, and I got so fucking bad.
Because you had the record on there with Meth.
Yeah. He's like...
Was it Method Man and J.O. on that record?
Yeah.
Yeah, which felt like it was like a radio record, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Pussy Pop.
Pussy Pop.
Yeah.
Pussy. I had the vinyl.
Yeah.
My favorite shit on there is 3 Card Molly, though. Which is fucking just up there.
Yeah, but they didn't want to shoot any more visuals. I got so fucking hot. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, just go make another record. I was like, fuck you.
Again, we're not done pushing this album.
No, I was like, one single there? One?
Yeah.
Like, this sucks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When you said that's like Christopher Reeves doing the Crip Walk, man. I was like, that's foul.
Yeah. Foul. Well, we got away with a whole lot of shit, though. We got away with a whole lot of shit. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Do
you feel like, because like that whole pocket of artists, right? Like, and I feel like even like, we mentioned Defari, Ev, Rocka, Dilated, all those guys. But I kind of feel like just that pocket of underground LA rap was you, The Licks, King T, Defari, Feel the Agony, all those guys. I just feel like, man, like that was such a... I feel like when we talk about West Coast hip hop, like a lot of times, like those guys get kind of like left out of the conversation, and they're so like, Rap Life, Tash's Rap Life, is such a great album.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing: people have to identify things by name, right? Mm-hmm. So if you look at the G-Funk era, the Death Row era.
People know G-Funk era.
Yeah. Like, ding, 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 all these names. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. It's people want to name something.
Right.
So we came after to Death Row era and all these other things. We were right in the middle, right before, you know, my era started, my graduating class.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we've started calling it like West Coast lyricists.
Right.
Right.
Because at that time, there's like Freestyle Fellowship.
Correct.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and even guys like Roscoe.
Yeah,
and
you know. And then you had, you know, Crooked Eye was, you know what I'm saying, like part
Planet
of that.
Asia.
Yeah, Planet Asia.
Yeah.
All these like West Coast lyricists.
Yeah.
Because that was our angle. That was what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that kind of sums it up. So now you can come to mind and think of all these other artists that were around that genre. You know, Will I Am comes out of that graduating class.
Yeah, I mean, I think about that first Black Eyed Peas album was
for sure. But before that, he was signed to Ruthless.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Will 1X. Yeah.
That shit's crazy, man. Yeah, it's crazy. So you end up putting out 40 Days, 40 Nights. Was the black and white soundtrack before Restless? It was, right?
Yes.
So you had the year 2000 song. Mike Tyson was in that movie, I believe. Wasn't he? In black and white?
Yes. Slapped the shit out of Robert Downey Jr. Slapped the shit out
How
of that
did
man.
you go from the Loud situation and then bridging it to aligning with Dre?
Like I said, it goes back to that video that they shot. One video for that album and then told me to go make another album. I was like, we haven't even, you know.
We haven't even got into the meat and potatoes of this album.
I was super mad.
Right.
I was super mad. So I was, you know, basically throwing a temper tantrum, you know, rebelling, you know, fuck that. I'm not making another album. So I got a call, Snoop Dogg, hey, I want you to work on this record. Dr. Dre gonna do the beat.
Bitch Please?
Went to the studio.
No Limit Top Dog.
No Limit Top Dog. Bitch Please came out. That shit out of here. Shot a video to it. Even more out of here. Oh shit. He's heating up. No. Then you know, got the call again. Oh, Doc like working with you. Come through. You know, we want to see what you can do.
2001?
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah.
He's heating up. Yo, X, hey, you guys, what you doing next few months? You want to go on this tour?
I bought tickets. That's the first concert I ever bought real tickets with my own money.
Tour.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
He's on fire.
And the date I went to, Q wasn't on it.
Oh man.
But yeah, that was a crazy tour.
So that's the progression. Now we got to have that conversation. X, I don't want to do another record.
You're on fire.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I was definitely feeling myself, but you know, we had to find a common ground, and yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
I mean, it did. What was it like? Can you take me into the session where you're working on What's the Difference? Mm-hmm. Because that is, we talked about Posse Cuts earlier. That's another all-timer.
Yeah.
You know, your verse, obviously Eminem's verse is fucking crazy. But I feel like your line, what's the difference between me? About 5 bank accounts, 3 ounces, and 2 vehicles.
Yeah.
I feel like just an all-time verse on that album. What was that studio session like?
Yeah. I think it was at Larrabee. And it was like one of the last things that we worked on before. No, I'm thinking about the X record. That was that record. But in that session, Dre was there. I think Scott Storch was there. Engineers, and I think that's it.
So was M's verse already laid down?
Oh, we didn't hear. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear anything until I laid my verse.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he's like, "You got something for this?" I was like, yeah. And then went over there and smashed it. Of course, got the direction from Dre. Made sure that it was right in the pocket, had everything delivered in the right way, the way he want to hear it, and that was it. So then I think Dre's verse was on it. You know what I'm saying? And then when he put it all together, that shit came out crazy. Yeah.
Crazy.
That beat was just, at the time when you heard it come on, it was like it was a highlight. You know what I'm saying? It was not just like, it was at the top of the record. This is like showcase. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be a big one. Yeah.
Hey, we gotta stop the interview real quick, man. Shout out to our family at MyBookie. That's right, man. MyBookie. You gotta get in on this action, man. Look, bowl season is here. NFL's cracking. NBA's cracking. Make sure you sign up mybookie.ag right now. Use that promo code BOOTLEG when you sign up for that first deposit bonus up to $1,000. Yes. I'm telling you, I just feel like I've been on this run with football. Late season playoff football's coming up. Man, you're going to be able to get some deals on some of these lines. Plus, they got the full-service casino. Man, slots, blackjack with a live dealer, roulette, whatever you're into, mybookie.ag. Get that account, sign up. That first deposit bonus happens with that promo code BOOTLEG. Let's get this shmoney, mybookie.ag. Also want to give a shout-out, man. It's a little cold right now. Holidays are here. There's going to be some fucking going on. You might as well get off that Blue Chew. You know what I'm saying? Look, go to Blue Chew right now, bluechew.com. Get your first month for free. That's right, your first month for free. A lot of people want to know, does Blue Chew work? You're goddamn right it works. Your dick will never be harder. It's going to be as hard as this fucking remote right here. Yes. Your wife's going to love it. Your girl's going to love it. Your left hand's going to love it. Sometimes you just want to take a Blue Chew and jerk off. You're just, damn, I didn't know it could get this big. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Blue Chew right now, same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis. It's delivered right to your doorstep discreetly. You don't have to go into the doctors. No doctor's appointments involved. It's super easy. All you do is go to bluechew.com. You're going to get hooked up with that first month for free. You just pay $5 in shipping. Everything's done online. It's amazing. All right. Nice little chewable tablet. Your fucking dick's going to be dicking for Christmas, for New Year's. You want that dick to be as hard as possible going into 2025, don't you? Of course you do. You don't want to, step into 2025 without your dick being as hard as it can get. You know what I mean? BlueChew.com. Let's get back to the interview. You and Eminem have had some amazing moments on records together.
Yeah.
Don't Approach Me is a great record, by the way.
Thank you.
Bitch Please 2 ended up on his album, right?
Yeah.
Which was random as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck did Eminem get the second Bitch Please?
Hey, man. Yeah, it was good.
Can you talk about your guys' relationship? Because obviously you're on tour with him too, the Up in Smoke tour. Eminem's not quite Eminem yet, but he's still Eminem. He came out in the fucking jumpsuit and shit.
Yeah.
But what was y'all's like friendship like, and so, like your guys' chemistry was pretty crazy on songs.
Nah, it was good, man. I think we just cut from the same cloth as far as where our taste in hip hop is, right? So, everybody has their own original way of presenting themselves, and he's definitely, what I'm saying, one of the greatest. You know what I'm saying? And so seeing him, now from then is dope to be able to see how the integrity of what he's doing is still intact and still in place. So, we definitely were in the same circles, but I can't say we had like the best of friendship.
Right.
I think they're like Denying and
y'all got classics together.
Yeah. Denying and,
Right.
and Royce, and you know what I'm saying. Like his family is
For sure.
Paul and Tracy.
Of course.
That like he's with his peoples. You know what I'm saying. So, but when we do interact, it's love. You know what I'm saying. Like
Can you speak to like because you got Royce on the new album?
Yes.
He fucking spazzed out.
He always spazzes out.
Yeah, Royce is. I always tell everybody, I think like at the skill of rapping.
Yeah.
You got to talk Black Thought. You got to talk Royce. There's just names that like we don't hear enough. It's like Royce is up. Lupe's up there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a few guys. Like,
yeah.
But with this new album, man, you're like, you are
I don't know how much I could give away about the album because you did play it for me.
Yeah.
And it's not coming until February.
Right.
But you have a great mixture of like OGs, I guess, guys from your class, I would say.
Yes.
And then you have some new, younger artists.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like, see, this is the thing that I feel like when like artists I grew up listening to work with younger artists,
It feels forced.
it feels forced, and it's just like, yo, like, I don't want to hear you on their shit. Like, I don't mind, you know what I mean? And so with your new album, I feel like you brought people to your world, and what I appreciate about this project is it feels like an Xzibit album.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like you're washed.
Yeah.
And I mean that, bro, you know what I'm talking about, though. Yeah. Because you'll hear some of these.
Thank you, man.
No,
Thank you.
but you'll hear some of these OGs, and they'll put out some new shit, and you'll be like,
What?
"This we don't want to hear this from you." That's what I appreciated about Cube's single. It's my ego. I said, "This is some fucking Ice Cube shit. This is what I want to hear from Ice Cube."
Yeah.
I don't want to hear. Yeah, you know. Yeah. With that being said, this album feels like
Yes.
you know, it'll stand the test of time.
Thank you, brother. I don't think I needed to conform. I don't think I needed to go find a new sound or try to do what's current. I think I just need to do what I do extremely well. And I think the quality and standard of people that, you know, like music, that it has a, you know, like you said, I think people, regardless of how they know me, regardless of what they know me from, I deserve one listen.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you dismiss it, before you say, fuck him, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, just want to come and blast the comments or whatever. Just one listen. Give it one run. You know what I'm saying? I think the game won't be that.
You have somehow, you're one of the people who Dr. Dre has always just had an insane amount of love for since you've gotten into his, you know, circle, I would say, right? I feel like Dre's always had your back. Behind the scenes, I've heard that he's always had your back. You know, he may or may not have had your back on this album. I don't know. What do you remember, like, kind of like when you and Dre like kind of hit like a real momentum, like, oh, like this is not a music relationship. This is not a label head relationship. This is like a brotherhood type shit, you know?
Yeah, I think over the time that we spent making those records and then being able to see, you know, that my outside studio activities were just as strong as my inside studio activities. Meaning that, you know, I'm trying to get the job done. I'm not here for the bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you are about your business.
I want to be an asset.
Yeah.
I want to be an asset.
Not a liability.
Correct. And so that's always been my drive. I've, you know, sometimes I fail. You know what I'm saying? As we all, not everybody's perfect. But, you know, I most 99% of the time I hit the mark, right? And so now being able to, you know, go forward and, you know, like families be involved and people know, you know, our personal lives, you know, are you know, discussed. You know, we built it over time. And, you know, I think that, you know, when people get around certain individuals and I think people's intentions and, you know, what they override the desire to be a good person, right? I think he experiences that more than anybody, but he's definitely in control of his circle of people that he decides to associate with. I'm just, you know, I'm blessed enough to be able to, you know, have those conversations with him and talk about things other than music. And, you know, I get a lot of wisdom and a lot of, you know, like good direction, you know, saying, because he's seen it all. So he's built, you know, empires. And, you know, he's seen them crumble and, you know, built them again. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of good shit you can learn, you know, in discussions with him, you know. and I'm glad I had that relationship with him.
When you guys were in those 2001 sessions, did you guys have? I mean, it's still Dre, right?
Yeah.
Suge Knight tried to drop like the hater Chronic 2000 at the time. Remember that? With the fake Snoop.
Yeah. That's why he named it 2001
because it did not come out 2001. but like was like did y'all like because that out I do make the argument a lot. I think 2001 aged better than the first Chronic. Like to me, like 2001 sounds like it could have came out today.
No way.
Personally, for me.
Okay, so if you go listen to, so look, both records are phenomenal, but if you don't get the first Chronic, you don't get the second one.
Of course.
So the first Chronic, the dynamics to those mixes are phenomenal, because if you listen to that record, I remember how it shifted everything.
I mean, yeah, the tree that just comes from just that album, it's forever like. Unfuckwittable.
Oh, come on, man! It's things on there that kind of set the standard for like the next 10, 20 years of music.
For sure.
You know
I mean, look, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, Doggy Style is the greatest, if not the greatest album ever. It's the great. I mean, it's one or two for me personally.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
And that obviously is a direct cause and effect from the Chronic.
Yes.
But yo. What have you been able to sit with Missionary? I have. I feel like I listened to it the first go round, right? And I was like, okay, this is first of all. You've already been hearing it.
Look, I was in there.
I was in the studio.
I was in there with him listening to it. And listen, I'm biased already.
I love the album.
I'm biased. I love everything my team do. You know what I'm saying? But I think people gotta know that Snoop is a global brand. He is making music. He feels good right now. He just got done doing the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Like this music is a direct representation of how good and how much fun he's having.
And he is also rapping his ass off.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I heard it through the big speaker.
Like that Shangri-La shit.
Full crank. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. The production is immaculate. Snoop is at an all-time high on his game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it's an album that like I'm on my fourth listen at this point, and I'm like, yo, this shit is amazing.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It catch you off guard a little the first listen.
Yeah.
And the second was like, damn.
Yeah, you going in with expectations. Don't go in expecting to hear Doggy Style.
Right.
Because that was then, this is now.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I think they pulled it off. And that fucking Tom Petty Jelly Roll record should be like number one in the world. That song is a fucking smash.
Yeah.
Nah, incredible body work.
Yeah.
You have had so many different parts of your career, movies, TV, fucking the music. I mean, the music's always been a constant in some capacity. What's the worst movie you ever been in? I told Ice Cube his worst movie was a movie you were in, by the way.
Yeah, the Triple X.
That shit was crazy. That shit was unbelievable. He said it was Ghost of Mars, and I was like, you're probably right. That's probably worse than Triple X 2. That's
yeah.
I was like, you got me.
I think it's full clip.
With Busta Rhymes? Yeah.
I think it's full clip. Oh, I think it is. I think it's bad. I think it's really bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I like but I agree that like Triple X 2 was a turning point for me, right? Because there was the first movie role that I had with a major motion picture. Like,
it was a blockbuster. It was like a blockbuster franchise.
Correct. And it was an offer.
Right.
I'm not an actor. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm not an actor. Here's an offer. You want you to be Ice Cube, Triple X? Oh yeah, stunts? What? Tanks? Yeah, fuck it, let's do it. So I go do the film, and now it's premiering. Now the thing about television, because they obviously wanted at the time, Pimp My Ride was at a super hot level,
scorching,
right? And so fucking, I was gonna put asses in the seats. So a straight offer. Never had an acting thing. I was like, I got this. You know, how hard can it be? I do fucking music videos.
Right.
Fucking what the fuck? So I do the film, and then the difference about TV is that in film is that your face is like 70 feet high. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you're looking at your face at this fucking gigantic level, and if you don't know what you're doing, it looks like you don't know what you're doing, right? And so, yeah, I'm looking at this play. I was like, this is fucking horrible. You know what I'm saying? I'm like looking at myself like, ooh, this fucking like even, it's not that bad,
right?
But it's just stiff and there's no life. It's just like,
you're not an actor.
Yeah,
you're getting through the script.
And I was like, fuck, they let me do this shit. And I was like, okay, so this is never gonna happen again. So I'm always gonna be prepared, and I got to take this shit serious because I like the experience. I love the experience, right? So I went and got an acting coach, and she was a little white lady, gray hair. It became therapy in these acting coaches because she would make me talk about my personal life for like an hour before we even do that. And
it's like therapy, yeah.
Man, and then she said, okay, where's the script? And so as we go through the script, he said, that's somebody from that story. That's somebody from here. That's what makes it real. You have to start putting a name to it. Like she pulls apart all these things from my person, right?
Yeah.
And then she put it on this. She put like that's the person that you just had that argument with 3 days ago, and now think about them when you were saying these lines, talking about this person. And so that's how I started like really learning from her and like the things I used to be able to pick up. And so that doing a few years of that. I now was ready to do, Gridiron Gang and Derailed and working with, all these, high level directors, it was really dope to go through that experience and be able to, challenge myself because look, I started from that and yeah, it was a great opportunity.
Right.
And it led to other things. But when I took it serious and started really like focusing on, okay, cool, this is what I'm going to do now. And that's another thing. That took away from music as well, being able to go and like
that takes time.
Yeah.
If you're going to take acting serious, people spend their entire life trying to do that.
Correct. So I had to pivot and I had to go that direction, and I'm glad I did.
If I'm just throwing this out, if somebody took like a legendary West Coast rapper A and Ice Cube and put them on like a crazy East Coast hip hop sample, it would just be crazy.
Okay, yeah, I'll write that down. Write that down. Note it. I'm ready.
Yeah. Yo, there are so many like my producer asked you off the air, but there are so many like rumors about Pimp My Ride.
Yes.
There's a whole Reddit thread of former people who are on Pimp My Ride. The one thing not the one thing, but first of all, that was a paid gig for you. You would show up, right?
Yeah.
When the car was done. It was, in and out,
Yeah.
Was there any point in time where you knew like, oh, that car's fucked up? Like that's not sustainable. Yeah. There's a fish tank in a car.
Yeah, it happens all the time. I would walk into the sets, and after a while, I just like, let's
another
go.
day of work.
Let's go. But the producers thought that the show needed that. I was always of the mindset of being like, look, let's just paint the motherfucker. If we're gonna spend some money, let's just do something really dope, like exhaust, engine, suspension, rims, paint, sound system, done.
No, that's this is vintage MTV though.
Done.
They got to do crazy shit.
Done. Yeah. I know, but it was like, no, it's more entertaining when they was like, yo, I'm pretty sure these motherfuckers just want a dope car.
They want to be able to get to work.
Yeah.
Pick up a girl on a date, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the craziest thing like you saw them do to a car where you were just like, guys, like this? Who thought of this shit?
Yeah, man. There's no shortage of things. You know what I'm saying? But I think the craziest thing was when they tried to make that engine run on cooking oil.
Yeah. They were like, we're going to reinvent the entire
And the car was so dope. I was like, why y'all do that to that fucking car? Yeah, but I mean, look, the show was entertaining.
Was there a video game?
Yes.
There was a Pimp My Ride video game.
There was.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. It
was
got big.
Was obviously when you get coined to do that show, right? Like you don't know it's going to be a big success. Like you're like, yeah, let's give this a shot, see what happens.
Very, very, very true. You know, we didn't know what we had to. You know,
at your peak of Pimp My Ride, you have a ton of leverage, right? Are you like, is the bag just crazy to do an episode?
It got okay.
Yeah,
but it was nothing compared to the advertising revenue.
Right, that they were getting.
Yeah,
I saw that they were talking about bringing it back, or it's coming back.
I don't know.
Oh, but you're not involved with the reincarnation.
No.
Like if they find another rapper, because I got a feeling there's going to be like a younger up and. What advice would you give them?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yo, somebody else, you're, being on Loud Records, you had some legendary label mates, but somebody you had a great relationship with and worked with was Big Pun.
Absolutely.
You got a Pun tattoo.
Yes. Yes.
And, Pun is one of the biggest what ifs ever, I think if he was still around right now, we'd be looking at him like he's one of the greatest of all time, because I think he's one of the greatest of all time. And
yes.
He's, by all accounts, one of the funniest motherfuckers ever.
Yeah.
Can you just share a big Pun story you might have with us?
Hell yeah. Okay. So we went out on this first promo tour together, right? And so we had 2 buses, and we go out, and I think we were on the East Coast working our way through, right, to Detroit, or somewhere in Flint, somewhere I don't know, somewhere right. We're out together. Their bus breaks down, and so they, Pun is like, let me get my family. He got his family with him. He's like, let me get on the bus. Like, come on, y'all, ride with us. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Hung out. Was all, went to the gig, right? So they all on my bus, right? And so, no, we went to the hotel first. Okay, so I knew the night was gonna be crazy, but I didn't know at the beginning of the day how crazy it was gonna get. So they're trying to get to the hotel and get checked in, so they don't want to be on our bus anymore because they feel like they're impeding. I was like, no, you guys are good, just go in and chill. But it's like, nah, we call a car. So this car pulls up, and this nigga jump out, Jerry Curl, you know what I'm saying, old school. He got pulled up in a limousine, right? And so something happened. We all on the bus, and we see this guy pull up. And then he gets out with an attitude, and it's like watching a silent movie. We on the bus and we looking out the window. It's just like you could tell by the body language that he didn't like what was happening. He was like, all you motherfuckers can't get in my car. And so the whole terror squads went over. It's like a bunch of shit, right? And so I see the dude throw his hands up, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to end good. So then all the terror squad niggas come, and they start chasing this nigga around the car. It's like the best shit ever, right? And so I was like, oh, this is going to be a great night. So we end up getting everything together, and we get over to the venue. So the venue's packed, super excited. We go on first. It's going down. Now, there's a guy named Booby the Boxer. That's part of TS at the time. Booby, what up? You know what I'm saying? He was on stage with Pun. He's getting down. We're up on the balcony now.
Watching.
We were just watching the show.
Yeah.
Place is packed. So there's something going on in the front row. Booby's addressing something in the front row. They having another silent movie. Yeah, one of them. And so then somebody goes off the stage. No, somebody throws something. Then somebody goes off the stage. Now it's a fight. Now the fight's coming on stage. And somebody from the team pulls out a gun and fires it right in the air. Pow! Yo, this nigga had pulled out of a briefcase. Bah! In the middle of the stage.
Big Pun?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, fuck.
Someone.
Okay.
Everybody in the first 10 rows is, it gets stuck. So everybody's trying to get away. So you just see like dominoes, like people fall, and then everybody else turn around and out. So we stuck on the balcony. Everybody's laying down on the balcony. I was like, get the fuck up. Everybody get the fuck up and get out. So then we getting down to, we going to our bus, right? We do head count. Everybody good. All right, let's go. We get into our bus. And they trying to come out. They coming out the back door. So everybody's running. Everybody's trying to get punned. You know what I'm saying? So he throw this. The cops is coming. So he throw the motherfucking thing in the dumpster. There's no trash in the dumpster.
Clank, clank.
I think it's just walk right up to it. You know, shine the flashlight on it. Like
there it is.
Yeah. Who threw it? So everybody's in cuffs. Everybody's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, cool.
Is Joe here?
Joe is not here.
Okay.
All right. So end up, got to deal with that shit. We get to the hotel, and now there's these niggas walking around the hotel looking for Terror Squad, right? You know what I'm saying? Like people that was local, at the concert. Yeah. Now it's niggas walking around. So now we got to run this covert operation to get everybody on the buses and get it going. I mean, they shot the buses up and everything. It was crazy.
Shit.
Man, but it was never a dull moment.
Wow. Yo, something I always wanted to ask you about was what I think I kind of know what happened, but you've been a part of some dope situations, shots to serial killers, but also like there was the Strong Arm Steady shit, and your guys' mixtapes were fucking crazy.
Yeah,
and they were very like peak mixtape era shit. It was kind of like you guys were kind of like West Coast G Unit low key.
Yeah. I think it's dope, man. I can't take credit for the mixtapes because they brought me in after they had the idea originally started.
So it was like you, Quandon, Phil,
Mitchie Slick.
Yeah. And then they ended up signing with Talib, and then you kind of exited that situation. And I remember you and Talib were cool because you were on the Reflection Eternal album. Was it Down for the Count? Oh, with Rod Digger? Oh my God, fucking fire.
Yeah, that was dope.
Amazing song. But did that lead to like some tension between you guys for a while?
Yeah. But it wasn't, listen, I think with Strong Arm Steady, shout out to all the brothers, man. I think when people have ambition, and mine comes from a very genuine place, right? And so when I got involved with Strong Arm Steady, I tend to be the kind of leader where I don't explain what I'm thinking or what I'm seeing too far down the road because I know what the goal is, but right now we just need to do these few steps in order to get to this next thing. Because I don't want to waste time trying to explain something that you can't see. Right? You know what I'm saying? And so it's a very small group of people that I like to do that with. You know what I'm saying? Because then executing is simpler when we break it down to smaller tasks, right? And the maturity of what was happening with the mixtapes was preparing us for a record. Right. So, boom, Talib has this Blacksmith record in print with Corey, I believe, right? So they approached Phil. Phil, brought the opportunity to the group.
Love Phil, by the way.
Yeah. I shot it down. I didn't feel like there was enough, for us to accomplish the kind of record that we wanted, right? So I went to New York, and then I was collecting music for us to do a Strong Arm Steady record, right? If we're gonna do it, we might as well do it independently with us, you know what I'm saying? And then work for a bigger situation, you know? At least we can all kind of carve out what we need, you know what I'm saying? I carved it out. Came back from, because I had just, I turned it down, right?
Right.
So somehow it was explained to them that I turned it down, but that didn't mean they couldn't. They could still take it, and they did. And I just felt as though, like, guys, after investing in what we invested in and going around the world and doing all these things, I think just trust me a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Did you guys Did you ever get to a good place with those guys ever again in terms of?
Yeah.
Because Grandon, I know, has been doing some acting and.
Yeah. It's a shame because we had such a great momentum, and they killed it.
They put out one album. Yeah. I don't know if it was on Blacksmith or not, but it was fucking crazy. But it's crazy too because it's like, damn, dude, like Phil was so fire. I remember that the solo song he had on Expansion Team on the Dilated album was so fucking tough. Oh,
man. He's unique.
For sure.
Yeah, he had a unique voice, and he's still I think he's still moving right now. I think I just saw something what he's got coming.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember like when I moved to LA, like one of the guys I wanted to interview was Defari.
Yeah,
and I got him on. Like when I was I'm still at Real 92.3, but when I was like actually working there, not contracted there, I had him pull up to the show, and I was like, "Yo, Defari, dog, that Defari album, where he's in front of the Forum."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Focus Daily.
Yeah. So fucking good.
Yeah.
Do you know if Defari ever got to? Because it felt damn near like he was like Aftermath-ish for a sec.
Yeah, I was trying to listen.
Was he on Tommy Boy?
I signed him.
Okay.
I signed him to Open Bar.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I signed him, and then we got close. I mean,
you guys never did an album though, right?
Never did it. He said after Restless came out, and there was a pamphlet inside. It was like coming soon. Right?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I got the album. Yeah.
And I was like, you don't have an album ready yet. And at the time, we're the same age, so if he would have heard that from anyone else, it would have resonated.
But because
I said
his peer,
right?
Yeah.
I'm his peer, and we had just got done. He just got done, and off the excitement and adrenaline of me putting out the Restless record, and he's involved in that. And he said he want to come right now. I was like, listen, we still got a lot of building to do off this record, and while we're doing the building off this record, you could be recording the record that you want. He's like, no, I'm ready. We'll go right now. I was like, Defari, all right, well, let me off the label. Okay. There you go.
Damn.
Yeah.
Woulda, coulda. What coulda? That's another what if.
Yeah.
That's another what if. Like, what if, like, that's the Defari album I wanted to hear for sure.
Yeah, but we were hot-headed at the time. And,
do you feel like because I feel like, were you like a hot-headed guy during that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like you had like anger issues, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Listen to those records.
I know.
Yeah.
I felt like the Xzibit in my head, I just thought, this fool must just work out and drink all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what a triangle push-up was before I listened to Xzibit.
I went kicking and screaming. But it was good. I got that shit out.
Hey, we're about to kick off another interview brought to you by Hardin. That's right. If you're in Vegas, it's the #1 dispensary in the country, the craziest selection of premium cannabis. And all you got to do is shoot them a follow, Hardin_Las Vegas, HardinLasVegas.com. When you're in Vegas, tell them I sent you. Let's get into the interview. All right, we got to stop the interview. Shout out to our family at Odd Socks, baby. That's right. Oh, look at these Odd Socks basics right here. Yeah, most comfortable socks in the world. Go to oddsocksofficial.com right now, man. Save 20% off your order. Look, you need some draws, some Big Lebowski socks, some Funyuns underwear. Look, what are you into? How about some Coca-Cola? Shout out to everybody who loves Coke, my favorite soda. Some little Swedish Fish, Scarface. Look, they got all the licenses. They got the most comfortable socks in the world. Perfect gift for you, for the family, for whomever you love. Oddsocksofficial.com. Use the promo code BOOTLEG. Save 20% at checkout. They also got the new slides. They also got we already showed y'all the draws. They got the slides, they got hats, they got accessories, and the most comfortable socks in the world. Like this sock right here, the basics. You can't fucking go wrong with the basics. Oddsocksofficial.com, our OG sponsor, our family That's all I wear is odd socks. I swear to God, it's all I got on my ass and on my feet, baby. At all times, it's odd socks. Go to oddsocksofficial.com. Use the promo code bootleg right now. Let's get back to the interview. That's fucking crazy, man. Shout out to Defari. Do you still talk to any of like the Licks or any of those guys?
Yeah, shout out to Taz, shout out to E Swift, shout out to J-Ro, King T, Defari, the whole team, rest in peace, B Finn, Bigger B,
Chase Bigger B was that that's not Bigger B's not the
it's Chase Infinite's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chase Infinite's doing his thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Behind the scenes, becoming a real legend on
He's
the
executive
side.
and we need to protect him at all costs.
An executive fucking, like, he's cooking.
Yeah. He's a boss.
For you, man, do you feel like this album scratches the itch, or are you like, yo, I'm back? Or, but are you like, because the thing is this is 12 years later, 13 years later, probably possibly, or it'll be that. I mean, 2020.
Yeah.
So, like you said, you're involved in music, right? Like you're still doing stuff, but like, are you gonna have to wait 13 years for another Xzibit album? Or are you like, do you feel like you're back in the game now?
No,
because this body of work, when it drops, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I feel invigorated. I do that to answer your question, yes, I feel like the void has been filled with this project. I'm going to go and put my best foot forward in promoting and getting in front of the people and presenting this album the way it's supposed to be presented. I'm dedicating my time and energy to that. That's gonna happen. But as far as what's gonna happen with the next one and the next one and the next one, I'm gonna take it case by case.
Yeah, I think it's called Kingmaker for people who don't know.
Yes.
Why that name?
Well, Kingmaker was decided because it has nothing to do with royalty or riches or any of that kind of, stereotypical thought of kings. My meaning behind it is it's a transfer of information. This is about the things that have made me successful, the consistencies, the self-discipline, the ups, the downs, my definition of things in a most entertaining way possible that I could see, right? There's some bucket list items on here.
Oh, there are, for sure.
That I've always wanted to do, haven't been able to do until now. Big records that, are very true to form. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah. And I feel like like I said, I found my voice. I've been able to, put things in a way that I feel very comfortable with and I feel are unique. And I feel good. I feel like it can be put up against any music that's out right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me? You've had so many, like you said, you've gone, you speak about some of the stuff on the album, whether it's some of your family stuff, being on the tabloids, or, I mean, damn, 20 years ago now, you got into an altercation which is why you got a scar on your face now. You've had some crazy, like, lows as well as crazy highs. Can you tell me, like, has there been a moment? Because I feel like, you've grown as a man over the years to the point where, like you said, like, this album is like a transfer of information. Was there like a point in time where you felt like you had like an awakening, where maybe you were like in a low place, where you kind of like, you really kind of had to only depend on yourself to dig yourself out of it? Because with that shit comes a lot of growth.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a combination of things, your family stuff is always family stuff, I think when you start losing your parents and your grandparents and all that stuff, that's it happens to everyone. But then, like when you lose a child or something like that, that's a heavy one, right?
Yeah.
So that's what happened to me. Yeah. And I think also the divorce, you know what I'm saying? It was just a series of really horrible events, that just kind of put me in a really dark place. So I would really feel like, being able to get back to music was another reason why I needed to be able to find that outlet again, you know?
Did you, I can only imagine, you know, losing a kid. That's the ultimate, you know, the ultimate thing. It's ultimate nightmare, right?
It's not the natural order of things.
Do you, like, was it therapy that helped you get through that, or was there anything you were able to do? Because I can't even imagine. I mean, I can't even imagine, bro. Like how do you, you know, grieve in that process?
You gotta grieve. Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta grieve, and you gotta talk about it, and you gotta, you know, realize what that means, and you know, and yeah, it's one of the things, you know. But death is a natural part of life, and you know, you don't forget, but you know, you definitely grow from it, you know. And I think that, you know, being in that dark place, you know, you have two options. Either you can stay there, or you can die there, or you can stand up and fucking go forward and see, you know, what life has to offer.
Yeah, because I mean, it is, I'm sure, very easy to stay in that place.
Yeah, people want to lie down in self-loathing, but that ain't where it's at. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to die. It's hard to live. You know. I
always wonder, like, you having like a public divorce. Dre had a public divorce. Is it? Because I've never. I mean, I'm married right now. Shout out to my wife. Shout out to my wife. But I'm saying, like,
what's her name?
Esmeralda.
There you go.
Shout out to my wife. But I wonder, like, when you get on the other side of that divorce, like, I feel like when you're married, right? There's so much of your like self-identification that's dependent on like this relationship, right? And then even like what your kids might think, or you know, so much was like the dynamics of getting over that and like being sleeping alone at night again. You know what I mean? And not necessarily having like your phone, like you don't have like really no one to answer to, I suppose. Was that easy to get used to? Would you say?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna go. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, what do I want to do today? Whatever the fuck I want.
No, it wasn't like that. Yeah, it wasn't like that.
Right.
But you know, here's the thing. It's, you know, I think you have to be true to yourself. Let me start there. You got to be true to yourself. I watched my father stay in a broken, unhappy marriage.
Right.
And I saw his outcome. And we've had long talks about this. He stayed way past what he was. It did a lot of damage internally to the family, right? I didn't want that. I knew where I was. I knew where she was. And I couldn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Once it gets like past the point of no return, it's like...
Yeah. And you know, like even going to therapy, you know...
Like couples therapy?
Yeah.
Like trying to save it, you know?
I went a couple times,
you
know what I'm saying? But I mean, it was like, the lady was like, you know, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The lady was like, so, how do you feel? I was like, you know, how do you feel about being married? I'm like, I don't want to be married. There's nothing wrong with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like maybe I just don't want this anymore.
I don't want to be married.
I mean,
to her.
Right.
Like
like we're better apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was, you know, it was time. It was time.
I mean, hey, I think that I feel like a lot of people, like you said, like are like your dad, like they hang on.
Man, yeah, and look, and
it's not good for the kids.
It's not good for anyone. And I didn't want my youngest to see that tension
right
in me all the time,
right.
or know that something's in the air.
Something's in the air. He might not know about it,
and
but
now,
he knows.
now he's conditioned to live that way.
That makes sense.
Right. So that's I think that's and then on top of it, you add that things are being put out in the fucking internet or whatever.
Right.
Now everybody's in your business but don't know shit.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But it's how you portray it, it's what you're fed. But I've lost contact with a significant amount of people connected with that, and that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah. You are also kind of one of the, I would say, like one of the guys who I looked kind of kicked off the being involved in the marijuana industry while being a hip hop artist thing that's happening. I mean, you were behind some really successful brands that ended up, I think you told me earlier, I won't say that I want to give them any light, but but I mean, shit, I remember you had the grenades with the fucking giant fat ass fucking napalm fucking pre-roll in it. What is the latest with you in the weed game?
Well, we stopped our California production of napalm, just manufacturing, right? Just shut that down. I think it's a really competitive market.
It's a tough market to
right,
crack,
it is.
man.
It is. And
the bougiest smokers in the world are here.
Right. So, I just parked napalm for the moment, and now I have 2 dispensaries. I was like, instead of building 1 or 2 brands, which I've done, why not sell everybody shit?
and then you're not. So I always hear the hardest part of the weed process is the cultivation.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
like
hard. It's hard when you don't know what you're doing.
Well, shout out to the homies from Hardin, like
Hardin,
in Vegas.
yeah, absolutely.
Like they're they don't grow any of them. They're just selling everybody shit.
Correct. And so we definitely have a foothold on the culture and the blueprint of what our DNA is and with the culture. So being able to translate that into a store is fairly
Where the store's
easy.
at?
The first store in Bel Air.
Okay.
Second store is in Chatsworth, in the Valley.
In the Valley, yep.
Right. So we've been.
What's the names?
Exhibits West Coast Cannabis.
Got it. Bow. It is what it is.
Fuck a record deal. I want my logo on the building.
Yeah. Do you still have your OG X chain? Like the chain from like 99?
Yes, I do have it.
You do?
I do have it. Yes.
Yeah, I told you I was like, you gotta bring the old logo back. You gotta bring that old chain back, man. Shit.
Yeah.
So the new album's coming out in February.
Yes.
It is incredible. Man, you got the who's who on there.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
Yeah, it's a nice blend. It's a nice mixture.
Yeah, it's a nice mixture, and I feel like, any of the... and then your son's rapping.
Yes.
And he's rapping
Shout
his
out
ass
Trey
off.
Capital, yes.
So your kid is he like rapping? Like, is this like something he's pursuing?
Yeah. He's been making music since high school.
Has him and shout out to the homie Chris Rivers. Have they worked together, him and Pun Son?
Yes, I had Chris Rivers out here. You know,
Chris Rivers a beast.
He is a beast. He's a beast. Yeah, he's a beast. Trey Capital, my son, he's 29 now.
So that's his rap name, Trey Capital.
Trey Capital. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's fire. Yeah, I was like, yo, who's this? You're like, it's my son. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. He's on a song on the Kingmaker album called "End of the Day."
Dope.
Yeah.
That's super dope, man. I feel like him and Inhale should do a song.
Oh, yeah, that'd be dope.
Nate Dogg's kid is sick.
Yeah, hell yeah. Inhale. Shout out to Inhale. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you've been running it up, doing a lot of shows. Shout out to Bobby D. I feel like, man, I feel like every 3 months in Ontario, there's just this like fucking summer jam. And then it goes to like Bakersfield, and then it goes to like, and you're like,
come on, man! Look, we got
the show that just happened. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, but we have dedicated people that love what we do. They love the artistic, things that we put out, and they dedicated. They come to the shows. They support us. We love our fans, the people that come to these shows, up and down the coast, all the way to the Midwest, all the way to the East Coast. Like, we still doing arenas. We still doing stadium shows. This shit is incredible.
It's great to see, man. Well, look, the album is out. You got some songs that are out right now, videos that are going crazy. I'm sure we'll get more details on the album.
Yes.
Sooner than later.
We'll come back after it drops.
Xzibit, I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, come on, man.
Yes,
it's all love.
My guy.
All right.